One of the biggest reasons people invest in dividend stocks is to passively collect a paycheck. And with that, one of the biggest issues with this style of investing is that it can take some time to build your portfolio up to a point where it's earning you a worthwhile amount of income. In my case, it took about a year and a half of consistent investing to get to a point where I was bringing in over $100 per month in dividends. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I did it and how you too can build something like this for yourself very simply. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Ryan Williams, and for the last year and a half or so, I've been sharing my investing journey with you all and showing you how to build financial freedom with dividend stocks. When I first started making these videos, my portfolio was already at about $15,000, and I had very little money coming in from dividends. I think I only made like $100 my first year of serious, dedicated investing. Fast forward to today, after investing and buying dividend stocks every single week, my portfolio now generates over $135 every single month in dividends and growing. And truthfully, guys, I did not think it would be achievable so quickly. Going all the way back to the beginning, I received my very first dividend on March 13th, 2020 from VYM, the Vanguard High Dividend ETF. And although it was cool to receive this without really having to do anything, I remember feeling actually very underwhelmed because I was only paid like just over $1 from the dividend. Like, what am I going to do with just $1? But I stuck with it and continued building up my stock positions. And it wasn't too long after that that the pace started to pick up a bit. And before I knew it, I was getting bigger payments like this one for $5 from AT&T or this one for almost $10 from ExxonMobil. And then not even a year into it, I was regularly bringing in double digits with a near $17 from AT&T right here and a whopping $12 here from Enterprise Products Partners, both of which are stocks I still have in my portfolio to this day. In fact, just last month, I got a dividend payment from AT&T for over $47, which was my biggest dividend payment to date, and another one from Enterprise Products Partners for over $33. So it's been growing very quickly. As you can see, it is more than possible to build a growing stream of passive income with this style of investing, and this may come as a surprise to you guys, but I'm no rocket scientist. I'm not doing anything special or reinventing the wheel here by any means. All I've done from the very beginning of my investing journey until now is just continue buying more stocks. No matter whether the market is up or down or sideways, I'm buying stocks every single week and collecting those dividends. And furthermore, I'm taking those dividends and reinvesting them to go buy even more shares for me. By doing this over time, there's really only one possible result, and that's a growing amount of dividend income. And there's two things that will determine how quickly your income will grow. The first of which is how much you're investing and how often you're doing it. One of the great things about investing in stocks these days is that most brokerages like Robinhood or Charles Schwab, which is the brokerage that I personally use to invest, allow you to buy fractional shares. So really you can make it work for you and invest however much fits your budget. Like even if you're only able to invest $5 a week, that's still absolutely worth doing in my opinion. Just know though, the more that you're able to invest, the quicker your portfolio is going to grow. I mean, that's just how it works. And ultimately you need to make it work for you and invest however much your budget allows, because consistency, guys, is a huge component to being successful with dividend stock investing, because if you're not feeding your portfolio, it's really going to struggle to grow. With that said, I would highly recommend you get into the habit of investing on a somewhat regular basis. At the very minimum, I would recommend maybe investing once a month in your portfolio, or even as often as like every week, which is what I do. Now, the second thing that's going to play a role in how quickly you can grow your dividend income is obviously the stocks that you have in your portfolio, what you're buying. There are some stocks that pay a higher amount than others, and obviously the higher the dividend yield, the more income you'll receive. And as an example, let's take a look at one of the stocks we've already talked about today, VYM, whose top holdings include some very reputable dividend payers like Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan, Home Depot, Procter & Gamble, Bank of America, and a handful more there you can see on the screen. Now, VYM pays $3.75 in dividends per share every year and has a 3.44% dividend yield, which really is not too shabby. That's about average. But compare that to another ETF like JEPI, which implements options trading to offer a 9.42% dividend yield that pays $5.55 in dividends every year, which is way higher, right, guys? Now, sticking with this comparison and assuming our goal is to generate $100 every month in dividends, dividends, you could reach this with only about $13,000 invested into JEPI, whereas you'd need nearly $35,000, almost 3 times as much, invested into VYM to generate the same amount of income, that $100 every single month. And for the record, guys, this is not to suggest that you should go out and find the highest dividend yielding stock possible and put all your eggs into that basket, because that is a recipe for disaster, I'll tell you that. This is just for demonstration purposes only, really, guys, and for the sake of demonstrating, imagine that you had a portfolio comprised of just these 2 ETFs, split 50-50 between VYM and JEPI. How long would it take you to build up your portfolio to where it's generating $100 every single month in dividends? Now, to answer that question, let's jump over to the screen. All right, guys, so what we are looking at here now is the MarketBeat.com dividend calculator. This is a free tool that you can use. You just Google MarketBeat dividend calculator and this will pop up, but this has been very handy. And basically what it does, guys, it allows us to input some statistics on a certain stock or portfolio, like dividend yield, dividend growth, amount invested every single year, stuff like that. And it will then project the growth of this portfolio across, however long you tell it to. In this demonstration, I projected the growth across 30 years, which we'll talk about momentarily. But kicking things off, we need to answer, how long will it take you to generate $100 every single month with this portfolio right here, which, remember, is comprised 50-50 of VYM and JEPI, the 2 stocks we've been talking about in this video so far. And in this demonstration, this accounts for someone investing $100 every single week or $5,200 every single year. And this may be more, this may be less than what you're currently investing. It's totally fine. Remember, guys, this is just a demonstration. Now, getting into it, guys, we can see in this very first year, we'll have only generated about $6.50 in dividend income. Really not much. But then you stick with the plan, keep investing $100 every single week. By year 4, you are now at a point where you are bringing in over $1,200 a year, which, if you average that out across each month, is $100 every single month. So really, from sticking to this plan right here, it'll only take you about 4 years to get to a point where you're bringing in $100 every month. And I think we could all use an extra $100 every month, right? Moving on, guys, this is actually where it really gets interesting. So it only takes 4 years to generate $100 every single month, but this is where compound interest really comes into play. These portfolios, they start out growing kind of slow, okay? You're jumping up a couple $100 a year at first, but then if we scroll down, like going from year 4 to year 10, for example, we've quadrupled our annual dividend income, okay? Now going from year 10, where we're taking in almost $5,000 a year in dividends, going from year 10 to year 15, we've basically doubled our annual dividend income just in 5 years, but you go another 5 years. Go from year 15 to year 20, you'll go from $10,000 in annual dividend income to almost $19,000. So just in another 5 years, you've almost doubled your dividend income. Go from year 20 to 30, so another 10 years, and your annual dividend income will grow from almost $19,000 just in that 20th year to almost $58,000. So just in 10 years, you will have then almost tripled your annual dividend income, which is insane. And this is compound interest to a T, guys. As time goes on, the growth gets much quicker. It starts out slow, but this is why we say that dividend investing is a long-term game. It's a very slow burn because it starts out, the wheels are barely moving. That snowball is barely rolling down the hill and it's the size of an acorn. But you stick with a plan, you be consistent with this for 5, 10, 15, 30 years, and your little acorn-sized snowball has turned into a freaking avalanche, guys. It just really starts to get out of control. And I mean, you can even play with this calculator a little bit more to come up with different scenarios, but it's just unreal to see. A lot of people think it's kind of a boring way to invest, but not when you approach it from a 10, 20, 30 year point of view. And hopefully after seeing all of this, guys, you have a better understanding of just how within reach $100 of passive income is for you. It doesn't happen overnight. Obviously, nothing worthwhile happens overnight, but if you can sacrifice a little bit of your money to invest in your future, invest in something like this, I think you will thank yourself a handful of years down the road. I really do. Anyway, if you guys want to keep the party going and are hungry for more dividend stock content, then check out this video right here. And also consider subscribing to the channel, clicking this right down over here if you guys want to see more content from me in the future. I'd love to have you all along for the journey. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.